Showing you how to remove valves and then reinstall the valves without special tools, without a valve spring compressor. You can do it at home. You do not need it. So first thing is, these are the valve springs right here. This here on top is the retainer, and then what holds it together is keepers. They are two little pieces of metal right in here, and they're kind of shaped like that, and they have little grooves in them. There's a keeper grooves inside the valve stem. So anyway, if you do this, please wear eye protection. You do not want this stuff flying up, hitting you in the face or in the mouth or anything like that. So please just be really careful when you're doing it, if you're doing it this way. So this is the fast, easiest way to do it. What I do is I find a socket that will fit on top of the retainer right in here where it does not hit the valve stem. So what I do is I place it right over top of it, and I take a heavy hammer like this. Now I have the head up on blocks right now just so I didn't want to hit the valves on the table or anything like that. You can use a rag or something like that in the combustion chamber just to hold the bottom of the valve. It helps it pop out a little easier sometimes, but it's not completely necessary, as I'll show you right here. And now when you do this, you don't want to lose your keepers. You kind of want to do this in an open area in case they fly, then you can get them. But this is it. All you do is you might have to hit it a few times. That's it. Hit it one time, it popped right off. There's the keeper. There's the retainer. Another keeper and the spring. The valve dropped right out. That's it. Alright, I'll go to this one here and give it a whack, and I'll show you. Here it goes. Oh, one of the keepers popped out. The other one's still in, so it might take a few times. There it went. Alright. Spring. Keeper. Keeper. And here's the retainer. Alright. Just to give you an idea on how to remove them, they pop right in and out really fast. Now, it's a little trickier putting them back together. Now, let me flip this over and I'll show you. Okay. Now, that's how you remove the valve. Okay. Now, when you're going back together, it's a little harder because you have to compress the spring. So, I'll show you what I came up with, and I've been using this for years when I do anything at home. Now, I have a C-clamp that's big enough to go around the head, and then I made this out of a piece of pipe. This PVC pipe, and I cut it, a little groove out of it right here, so that I can actually get in there to put the keepers in, and I'll show you how that works. So what you do is you take your valve spring, your retainer goes on, you're going to put that on there. This here is going to go right there, and then you have to put the C-clamp around the head. Now you want to use eye protection on this as well, because this can come flying off on you if you're not careful. You want to kind of crank it down pretty as evenly as possible. So let's see here. What I usually do is I turn the C-clamp, let it rest against the cylinder head here, a little extra support. You want to crank it down evenly. Now you need to get it down enough to where you go past the keeper grooves, to where you can get the keepers back in. I can see them starting to be exposed now. A little bit further. Right to about there. Okay. Now, another easy little trick you can use is you take the keepers. Now they're tapered, so the smaller on one side, bigger on the other. Bigger side goes through the top. I took a little bit of white lithium grease, I put it on both sides, and take a little screwdriver or something like this, stick it to it just so I can get it into the keeper grooves. Now this might take a couple attempts. Sometimes you gotta mess with it a few times, like right now it just popped off on me. I just gotta get it to stick into the keeper grooves. There we go. It's in there on that side. Let me get it to the top maybe. Get it to stay in there. Alright, now I'm going to take the other keeper, do the same thing. Put a little grease on it, make it stick. Make it a little easier anyway. Now you can do this on different cylinder heads. Oop, not just this style, this type. The reason why I actually came up with this was because I was working on I think it might have been a Kia head, or it was something where, it was years ago, where the springs were sunk way down into the head and you couldn't even get to them. All you could see was the tops of this particular one. I think I might even be able to get this in with my fingers. But it was way sunk down in there, so it was really hard to get to. Alright, now those keepers are in there. So when you do this, you want to take it slow. You kind of want to guide it as you're coming up and make sure the keepers go kind of into the retainer so that it seats in there right. There we go, I loosened it up. And that's it, C-clamp and a piece of pipe that I modified. Alright, now what I do is I always inspect it afterwards to make sure that the keepers are in there the right way and that they're in the grooves the right way. And a way to do this, and it maybe helps seat the valves a little bit, I either use a plastic mallet or a little hammer or something. I don't directly hit the valve stem, put something over it and I'll tap it. It doesn't pop off, it's in there. Also helps seat the valve a little bit. So anyway, that was it for removing valve springs and the valves and replacing them, reinstalling. Anyway, please subscribe if you haven't already. And my name is Rex, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will check it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.